Well, now, when I'm driving around Deeping, I can cup a little ball in my hand and stroke it and squeeze the top of it every few seconds. And if I squeeze it just right, it goes all tingly and green at the end.
Hello and welcome to MGP316. I'm Kev, and with me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Yo.
Hello.
Pab, I'm just going to leave a gap here for you to put Stone Cold's music in to celebrate episode 316. You mentioned it, and now future Pab has to edit it in. But there you go. It is episode 316, also known as the last episode, because we finally get that copyright strike we've been looking for all this time.
Copyright strike.
Pab couldn't resist putting his Stone Cold Steve Austin music in. It's all your fault, Pab, and it all goes wrong. It's your fault.
Stone Cold is pretty hard on his copyright, isn't he? He takes it very seriously.
Exactly. That's why the Stone Cold Steve Austin 4-foot-tall figure that I've got behind me has to wear a mask in my videos.
Really?
He doesn't like his likeness being used, yeah? He insisted.
What,
No,
really?
No.
Yeah, but Kev plays this game with me where he says something and it's either 80% like true or 20% lies.
Two things. Firstly, that's not a game. That's how I live my life.
Yeah, that's been his rule since before he knew you.
That's not just for you. That's in every word that ever comes out of my mouth. Roughly 80% of them are true. Yeah, Sheepdog's very familiar with the 80-20 rule.
Mm-hmm.
It's the correct way to be. You've got to keep people on their toes. If you give all the truth all the time, you don't give yourself any wiggle room for creativity.
I do like wiggling.
Exactly. How are we all on this fine week, anyway?
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Which one of you just did a big sigh when I asked how you were?
I think that was Anna, yeah.
Would you like to elaborate?
I'm doing uni work and I just can't bother.
Let's see, perhaps don't do it whilst you're doing a podcast.
This is the only time I've got dead time when I'm listening to you not going on about your games, so...
Going on about our game.
Yeah. Way to sell the podcast. What an intro. It's dead time while we're going on.
Yeah,
this is from the girl who still inexplicably listens to Cranky Gamers every week.
I don't know why.
But we're dead time.
No, but you know why? No, because I listen to them when I'm actually doing stuff. So I'm doing the same here. I'm doing this, so I'm doing stuff. I have to do it because he told me it was wrong, and now I'm looking at something that's mustard yellow, and I don't want it to be that yellow.
Oh.
I don't understand why you're not just getting Kev to belt out your year 2 assignments. It's only the last semester of year 3 that they get hard.
Doing.
Oh, I don't think that's a barrier for sorting it out. I'm pretty sure I could do any essay.
Me and Anna had this discussion, and I told her if she wants me to do it for her, she's got to do media, because I could do that without any research. To do these ones for her, I've actually got to do some reading, and I'm not having it. I refuse.
I don't think you'd have to do much reading.
Yeah, but on media, I wouldn't have to do any reading. And that's how I like it. But that's how I got through our degree. That's how I got through teacher training. I don't want to have to do any reading. That's not what university is for. I don't want to accidentally learn something. I just want to knock out essays.
Have you looked at what the questions are, though? Just in the off chance. Some people think you should solve murders by looking at the blood stains.
There's one of them that I could have a crack at. Which
one?
The one about digital forensics I could do.
Oh, well, I've got to find a case that has something to do with digital that was a crime and how they solved it through digital something or other.
What? So hang on. So are your ones like someone's committed a crime? This fella's stolen an episode of Breaking Bad. How did he do it, and how do we stop it?
No, it's more this person's killed his wife, how did they use digital forensics to prove it was him?
Because they used her Fitbit.
Is that so? But then do you just answer? Are you just like, we looked at the Fitbit and it said, oh, he was standing next to a corpse at this time. We can tell
have to elaborate.
Yeah, kind of.
No, we can tell that the corpse has been dead for 7 hours, and 7 hours ago his Fitbit said he was standing over a corpse.
Yeah.
Swinging his arms.
Well, no, not his. Her. He killed her. It was her Fitbit because of just the way her Fitbit was. Her Fitbit,
presumably the heart rate tracker
heart
stopped.
rate was going but she was still moving. And they're like, well, how can she move if she's got no heartbeat? So
see, that stuff's genius. Because basically you just sit there and outfox the question.
But he told us that. I can't use the one he told us, but I have to go and find my own one. And I'm like, I don't want to do one that's in America because I don't want to look into American law because I've got too much work.
Don't worry. Now you've said that, Sheepdog will have one for you before the end of the podcast.
I'm just going to think about it. I'm just trying to think how you would solve a murder with a digital fridge now.
There's got to be ways to solve them using stuff like Alexa and things as well. All these things that are listening all the time.
Alexa. She's not listening.
Everyone's Alexa just listening just went off.
What are you trying to do there, you psychopath? You ruin everyone's day. People listen to this podcast.
I forgot I was talking to a microphone and just shouting across the room.
Alexa, stop podcast.
Oh, God.
Alexa, unsubscribe from Midlife Gamer.
Stop it!
Stop what? They've had 7 years to accept our dance challenges. They've chickened out 7 times in a row. They can get unsubscribed by a few Alexas.
Listen.
They do listen. That's why they always reply and say, "No, thank you. We're too afraid." Words to that effect.
I don't think they do.
By the way,
they do.
What a good impression that was of Mr. Midlife Gamer.
Which one?
Exactly. It was a good impression of him, though.
Can't you say that some crime was solved by one of those special doorbells that people use to see who's at their door? And you can just say that I checked the footage and a bloke was at the door holding a knife.
How does that solve a crime?
Well, because they didn't know who did it, and then they checked the doorbell, and there's a bloke there who had a bloody knife in his hand. Time of death sorted.
I was looking at the PlayStation attacks that happened over Christmas and Xbox, because that's DDoS, and that's digital, isn't it?
Oh, it includes cyber attacks?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, I work for a company that stops cyber attacks. I can just get all the ones...
Anna, that's not how I understood the question at all.
I think that's what it is. It says, what is digital crime? Digital crime is fraud and all of that.
Well,
so why did you go on about Fitbit then?
Because that's the one he told us about, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But it can be a range of things. Like, we've got an exam next week, and basically he's going to give us a USB that's filled with deleted files. So basically someone's had a memory stick, they've been doing stuff with it, deleted some files, but because of where digital forensics...
I got one for you.
And then it will find like all his deleted files about selling geckos.
I got one for you. In Iran, I think it was, the Israelis dropped a pen drive in the car park of a nuclear power station.
On purpose?
Yeah. Somebody picked it up, took it in, and was like, I wonder who this belongs to. Stuck it in their computer. The second they did, a piece of malware just burrowed its way off into their systems and just basically forced one of their cores to fall apart and break or whatever. There's a full story online about it. But
send me links.
Yeah, I will. We should probably do our podcast.
It's not like there's been dozens of new games come out this week that we should talk about.
No games. I've got work to do, Kevin. I've got 5 words going on.
Those of you who are desperately waiting for the return of movies, comics, and TV, I assure you this is not your week. Off the top of my head,
we went to see a good movie.
We haven't got time for all that. Off
yes,
the top
we
of my,
do.
we haven't. Off
yes,
the top
we
of my,
do.
right. You lot can carry on with that after I've gone. I'm here for a sharp hour and then I'm off. I've got things to do.
So, starting with gaming very quickly, because it's quite funny, have you seen the new quest on Pokemon Go? The dialogue from the professor? Quest special dialogue, Meltan _0_5. Special quest dialogue, Meltan _6. And he just starts shouting that gibberish at you. And then you get given a load of quests to do. I was giddy with joy reading that and running around doing the quests, but they've been falling apart this past month. They added in a new stone that was just called special _stone _item or something like that, and then updated the name of it a day later. They updated all the stats, but then realised they'd killed everyone's Pokemon and they had to go back and do it again, and it's weird. It's like they've got a new programmer who's just come in and gone, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe they've been hacked with digital crime, Anna. That could be another one. You could use Pokemon Go to solve crime, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, it's just interesting that they seem to have, despite making billions, gone backwards somehow.
Yeah, what they have done though, Sheepdog, they put that fitness tracker thing in.
Yeah, and that's
brilliant.
It is brilliant.
It's not, because you have to have the app closed. So I'm no longer using my Pokemon Go Plus. I'm no longer spinning Pokestops or catching Pokemon. I'm deliberately leaving the app closed so that it tracks my steps.
You don't have to have the app closed.
I was told for it to track through the health app, it has to be closed. Otherwise, it relies on the app. It's on the Pokemon app, which is less accurate, and you get less credit.
No, what tends to happen is some people find basically if you go off it and then go back to it hours later, it will have a second where it kind of blips about trying to figure it out. All it's done for me is highlighted how little I walk in a week. Since Monday, apparently with the app on, I've only walked about 13 kilometres. I suppose only most of my walking at the weekend, but that's pretty bad. I did about 35 last week, so I was nowhere near the 50. But then I suppose 50, it's making me feel like 50 is a goal. Surely they're not expecting everyone to hit 50, are they?
How are we talking about Pokemon Go on the week Fallout 76 came out? I don't understand what's happening.
Because that's dog poo. Everyone knows that's dog poo. It's poo. It's just a pooey game.
Have you played it? Have you played it?
I don't need to play it.
Have you played it? Have you played it?
No.
No, exactly.
I'm not wasting money on it.
Wasting money on it. I spent £175 on it.
Well, you got a hat and stuff, didn't you? And Kev got a free copy.
So. Hat?
A helmet.
I got a massive helmet. Oh my god, it's so big. I have nowhere to put it.
I wanted this till I saw an advert of it, and then I was like, nope, not getting that game.
Anna, tell us all about it.
There's not a lot I can say because I haven't played a lot of it. I haven't had time this week. So basically, it came out again. Hold on. The beta finished last Thursday. It's not Thursday, just gone Thursday before. And then it was released on it was supposed to be released on the Wednesday. I got my game on, I want to say I got my game on Monday night. So I got the box. I got my helmet that is massive. I got the map and stuff. And I had to uninstall the beta to install my game. That was fine. Hey. It took forever. Just because I had no space.
Oh, right, okay. So that was a requirement of you installing the game. You can't have its beta on it as well.
No, I had no space. I have the Pro, and it's like terabyte, and that was taking up a lot with all my other games. So I'd take that off to put that on. It took hours because it was massive, because there was a 49 gig patch.
Wow.
Yeah, it was chunky. And then on Tuesday, so they were doing a staggered release across the globe to coincide with midnight, but something went wrong and they released it everywhere at 12. It's like 12 o'clock dinner time. It was here. It just went live, and I was like, oh my god! But I had work, so I only got to play it for an hour, which I was sad about. Didn't realise that to save, I had to get out of the vault. So I did all the vault things, but I didn't go outside because I had to go to work, and went back to it and I had to start again, which I weren't fussed about. And the vault only takes 5-10 minutes, depending on how long you take with your character. So when I went back to it the day after, I started it and it went back to my beta character, and I was like, no, I don't want this because when I was playing with the beta, I just wanted to get in as far as I possibly could. I wasn't taking in any lore. I just wanted to go around and have a look. So I've started a new character. I am now level 10. I have one piece of the silo codes for the nuclear bombs that you can set off, but you need, I don't know whether it's you can find all the pieces or you need to be with friends to get all the pieces together, but I have found one in a place where I shouldn't have been at the level that I was. You know, when you just like going, oh, what's over there? And you go and have a look and you're like, I shouldn't be here. But I had this really fancy gun that I'd found in the area I shouldn't have been and beat all the people up there and got my piece of the code. So I was like, that's cool that it's not sectioned in levels as such, but it does have like a soft, don't go over there. It's a little bit tougher than it is down here. So the forest area, which is like the middle bit, you should be to about level 15, and then there's other areas that slightly go up in increments till you get to about level 50, which is end game stuff, which is like far east. So I was in the middle, and then I kind of just touched into the east a bit, and that's where I got my code and my really fancy gun. But I was like, shouldn't have been up there, should not have been up there at all, because there was like rad storms. I was just getting hit from every direction. There was super mutants up there, and they were being mean. So yeah, like I don't see why people are making this game, like rating it so badly. I like it.
I think it's because they've just taken Fallout 4 and added other people because other people suck.
But I've not had any. I've been there, no one has been mean, no one has shot me. I think people are just saying, oh, people are griefing, but it's not, because if you grief, you basically put a target on your head and people will just come and shoot you and get a reward for it. So there is an incentive of not doing that, because you have to pay.
That's the weird thing, because then what's the point of playing with other people? Like, I'm not saying I want to grief people or be griefed. I don't like it. When I play these sorts of things, I kind of just want to get on with it. Like, if I was walking around with you guys and we were exploring, fine.
Yeah.
But but the rest of the world don't need to be there for that, really, and so it doesn't seem to offer anything. And I tried to look at it because I thought, well, this is a pretty big deal, and you know I should get it. But I just thought, nah, I've played Fallout 4 and kind of gave up on that when it realised the story was just getting a bit ridiculous. You know,
but that's. I have always wanted an online Fallout. Like they brought Elder Scrolls, and yes, I played it, but I didn't enjoy it because it's not the genre I wanted. And there's people out there who only play Elder Scrolls Online because it is a good game, and I give it its juice. It is good. I just don't want to play it. It's not what I want to be, and I don't want to be in a pretty fancy world. I want to be in a dirty, grimy Fallout world where I can just go around, collect stuff, build a house, and go and kill some weird people and have a story that's going on in the background. I like that kind of thing. I like going into buildings that are old and stuff, and it's just the way it is. I know, I can see why people are getting mad. Oh, it's not a Fallout game, but you got to move on. You can't be the same thing all the time. There's no point to that then. It's just reskinning. Oh, look, it's a post-apocalyptic, and here's a bit of a story. It's just like, I like it, and I think that's all.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you do. And I didn't realise it was actually getting bad reviews. I'd kind of just looked at why I didn't want to play it when I put the effort into looking at it. But I've just loaded up Metacritic, and it's it's 2.9, which is a terrible. That's ridiculous. I can't believe for a million years that it's a 2.9 game. Not even slightly. Like, I know if I played it, I'd probably be happy enough to give it a 7 or an 8. But I don't want to spend 60 quid on a it's all right. Fine. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to wind you up or be mean to anyone or whatever, but I just thought to myself, it does not look like it's worth the money I'd have to spend on it to get it. For me, But it's no way. It's no way a less than a 3 game. I'm looking through the reviews, and I hate these sorts of sites.
Yep.
I've gone through it before, but there's lots of people on there saying this is just Fallout 4 mod. Why didn't they just do it on that for free?
Because it's a different system. They couldn't have put this on for.
I'll say the smallest part of me is like, Red Dead and GTA 5 did that, and other games. Rockstar do that basically, but
they monetize it as well.
They do monetize the arse out of it, don't they? Yeah. So I don't know. If you're a big fan of Fallout, you're going to love it, aren't you?
And it's like people are moaning about the Atom Shop where you pay real money for upgrades, but what they're completely missing is that you can earn atoms in the game, so you don't have to spend your real money. You can earn them in the game and then things that you can buy atoms if you wanted to buy them all there and then, but you do earn them.
I feel like it's a modern thing that I prefer now. I like that you can take it the slow way or you can chuck a few quid at it. I think that's fair. I don't like it when you can only pay or you have to pay or you feel obligated to pay, but I like it when you've got the option.
Exactly. And like I haven't spent real money on the shop. Yes, I bought the game, but I buy all the fancy Bethesda things. I like Bethesda, even though most of their things are broken.
Trading cards.
Shut up, Kevin. You buy cards all the time with your World Cup. Where's that now? Huh?
Next to me.
Do you use it for anything, though?
Yeah, I look at it and remember how cool I am.
Wow. I see. But I like it. I don't see it going anywhere. Plenty of people like it. Metacritic is wrong, in my opinion, because it's all the people on there going 0. This is such a bad game. Like, I bet half of these people haven't even played it. They've just looked at, I don't know, screenshots. Yes, there has been problems, but it's an MMO. What do you expect? It's like they did have a beta. People did tell they did tell Bethesda what was wrong. But you can't fix everything. You can't please everyone. So
I have some questions.
Yep.
Okay, so this is, what is it, 26 people per server, is it? Something like 24?
24, I think, yeah.
Right. And you've come across people.
Yep.
And if they shoot you, they become marked, like, bounted.
They become marked, and then when they are shot, they have to pay the bounty.
Okay, so is that somewhat similar to, say, The Division, when you would go in the dark zone and someone shot someone, and they suddenly became marked, and everyone suddenly went, "Oh, there's a guy here we can get." So, there
is a passive mode. You can play as passive. So if you do shoot, say you're doing something in the world and you shoot, because there is like world events happening that you can get in and you can join in. Obviously, more people are there, and you are shooting. If you hit someone, then it's not automatically that you're going to get hunted. It's if you're targeting them.
Do you know what I mean? People and griefing people.
So then they become, because up to level 5 you can't shoot anyone anyway.
Right.
You can aim. So from level 0 to 5, no one can shoot. Like no human can shoot you, and you can't shoot them. And then after that, it's free for all. But people aren't doing it. Like I have not, and I spent a lot of time in the beta, and I've played 10 hours of this game, and I've seen people. I've been in world events with people, and I've not been shot, and I've not had anything happen to me. The only things that take shots at me are the enemies. And
right.
Yeah.
So you played the beta, didn't you?
I did.
Umpteen hours.
I did.
Did you see stuff that isn't in the new one, isn't in the final release, or is it still? It's a Bethesda game. Let's be honest. There's going to be bits of bugs and jank in places, I imagine.
And they have fixed something. There was like issues with the light and water the reflection of the water would be blinding. It'd be like that doesn't look right, and the shadows didn't work. And then there was like obviously just like load times were very, very long, and they have cut down on them, but
good.
It's a Bethesda game, you know what I mean? They know what's going on. They know they're fixing things. Like there's been patch notes and everything. Like there was a 49 gig patch for day one, so they obviously have been trying to fix things. I know people are having issues with the starvation mode, not like it ticks the starvation and food isn't helping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there has been a few people that have had who get to starving and then they eat food and it's just not taking it away and then they end up dying.
Oh.
And again, they're aware of it and they're going to fix it, but at the moment,
That's just a bug, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to have these things like Elder Scrolls Online was a bag of spammers when it came out. Like, it didn't, some of it didn't work, and now you look at it and it's polished and there's DLC and there's new things to do. Like, I can see why people's frustration is that there's no NPCs in this game. You're getting all your information from either robots or holotapes, and
they'll have to come later, won't they? They'll have to add them in.
They're kind of NPCs in their own.
They are, but
right, aren't they?
They're quite long. Like some of you listen to and sometimes in the game you don't want to always listen because there's always stuff going around. So if you get a holotape, you have to like basically stand there or just wander around that tiny bit of area looting, listening to these tapes, which can be sometimes really long, and you're like, oh, just get on with it. And I can see why people get annoyed. But then again, when you're talking to normally, you're just standing there talking to an NPC. So I don't know. I think I need to either not worry about the story or try and turn up voice, because like all the settings are everywhere at the moment. Like footsteps are like elephants behind you, but then the radio is at a medium level. But then when sometimes you hear other radio signals and then you turn over them and they're so quiet that you have to turn it all the way up. And that is a bit annoying that you have to do that. But it's early days. It's less than a week. There's gonna be issues. But like this, I wanted this. I've got it now, and there you go. There is so I got this. There is one more game now that I have got my eye on that, like, I've not heard anything about it apart from like one video on YouTube, and it's called Mutant Worlds. I can't remember what it's called now, but I think Sheepdog will like this because it's XCOM like game. Oh, what's it called? Mutant Year Zero, I think it's called. I'll send you a link, but that looks excellent, and it's out in a couple of weeks.
I think this was at one of the announcement event things, wasn't it?
I think so. I can't remember what it's called now, but it looks.
Yeah, Mutant Year Zero: Road to Eden. I
think you'll like this game. Like it's like to me.
I think I'd get beaten up if I bought any more games. But like, I've been very lucky that I got a Football Manager from Kevin.
That's me. That's my name.
I got Red Dead from work. I got myself Pokemon, and then I'm like, I've got I've got Christmas coming up where I want Spider-Man and I want Smash Bros. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to fit all these games in. I don't know how I'm going to get them all done.
That is the thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I've not finished Spider-Man. I've not finished Red Dead. I've not finished Assassin's Creed. And now I've got Fallout, and I've got Spyro, and I've got.
Do you know what's been making me feel odd? I was looking around on, like, there's been votes online about like, what's everyone playing this weekend, and it was like Fallout or Red Dead essentially, and like 60% of the votes were Red Dead, and like South Park this week was banging on and on and on about Red Dead. That's one of the jokes of it all, that the guy just wants to finish investigating this murder so he can go home and play Red Dead, but every time he goes to go home, someone else gets murdered, and it's going on and on and on, and he just wants to go home and play Red Dead. And every time he gets home, his wife's been playing his Red Dead save, and his marriage is breaking down because she's a better man than he is in Red Dead, and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, I don't even remotely feel like playing this. The whole world seems to be telling me that this is what I should be feeling all the time.
Well, Red Dead.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I've not played it since the 3 or 4 days after it came out.
No, I've not been back to it yet since that first night.
I keep thinking I will. I don't have anything against it. I just haven't got that. It seems like it's become a meme because it's not the only program. South Park's obviously quite like tries to be part of the geek culture and everything, but it's not the only place or show or anything that's kind of referenced it. Like I should be completely and utterly hooked on it. It's a bit like when people used to say that about Halo, and it used to grate me that they'd be like, "Oh, Halo." Like the world isn't really like that, is it? But Twitter suggests it is like that, and Red Dead everyone is going nuts about still.
Oh, Red Dead is good though.
So, I'm sure it is. I feel like I'm enjoying it from the little I've played since the last episode, but I just don't feel the drive. Are you been playing it, Pab? Are you going to say?
So I played about another hour of it. It's insane, right? And in that hour, I was determined I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting involved. This is from the hour since getting to chapter 2 and the camp opens up. I did maybe one mission and then stopped playing. And so I went back to it and played about an hour. I booted it up immediately. Dutch pulls me to one side and goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What's going on?" He goes, "You abandoning us? What's going on? What?" Mm-hmm. I'm like, "What's happening? What the hell's going on? I've just turned it on. I don't know what's happening." And he goes, "You haven't contributed in weeks." I went, "I've been here for 10 minutes. What's going on?" And I've got people saying I'm leaving the group and I'm abandoning them.
I don't know if it's I don't know whether it's the same for everyone actually, but my camp, when I last played it, my camp was starving and at the kind of limit. I noticed suddenly there's like 3 squares. I think it's like health, food, and something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh, okay, interesting. So I went and killed a load of deer and brought them back, and that was a faff and a half because you can't. If you don't put it down at the right place at the butcher, it sends it back to your horse, and your horse is camped outside the camp. So I was basically pulling up my horse, picking up the deer, walking to the butcher, trying to put it down on the floor in front of him.
Yeah, don't get your foot to the table.
It doesn't tell you that, Anna. So I went back and forth 6 times. and then I Googled it. How the hell do I give this butcher the bloody deer that keeps morphing back to my horse? So I gave him that, and then my camp's all happy with the food. Gave him all my money and platinum that I seem to have tons of. But I don't know how to do the other 2. I don't know whether I need to find health items.
Basically, where you go and put the money in the ledger, go through the ledger, and then you can buy bits for the camp, and that's how you do it.
Ah, right, cool. Okay, there you go. I got an expert there. But that became like a bit of an obsession, and I wanted them to have an abundance of food. Can food spoil at all? Can I just go and kill every deer in existence?
No. It does spoil for a while. You have to be careful. They'll come up in the corner like it does. Go, your food is starting to spoil. Either sell it or take it to the camp or cook it.
Oh, but I mean, if I give it to the butcher, though, is it gone from that point? Or
I imagine it'll be fine in there.
You can basically you can fish and a part. You'll get through the game and then you can go and fish. And if you catch fish and then cook it, you can just give them cooked meat.
I'm surprised that that's even a mechanic that they can starve with all those animals running around on their doorstep. I mean, it seems mad. Like if we lived in a society where we relied on hunting and we just had constant rabbits running through and deer, it just seems easy. The Wild West was simple. Again, I don't know whether it was part of the game or a bug or what, but I heard some shooting and shouting and hollering, so I rode my horse into it, and these 3 blokes had basically killed this priest, and then I'd killed them, and then it was just this church that hadn't been built with all these corpses in it, and I just went around and stealing all his brandy. And I just thought, was he supposed to die? Was I supposed to have reacted quicker? Because I don't know how I'd have known. Is there stuff like that going on in real time at certain points in the game all the way through? Like if I'd have got there half an hour sooner, would I have been there before the robbers? If I'd have been there 5 minutes sooner, would I have been there before he died?
I don't think that if you got there earlier, happen as you're going around. Like there's one where, like, I was talking to a friend at uni and he was up to level 4, and I was like, not level 4, chapter 4. I think there's a bunch of chapters. And I was like, I've only started chapter 3. I've found a man about a lion. It's like, what now? a lion? And I was like, yeah. He goes, have you not come across? It's like, no, nothing about any lions. So everyone's sort of story is a bit different when you come across things. Like, he's come across things I've not seen, and I'm like, oh, that would have been really cool to have seen that. But...
Well, in my story, the dead priest had no brandy in the first place, as far as I'm concerned. There was no brandy in that church.
Was there?
Maybe, maybe enough brandy that it told me I couldn't carry any more brandy and I had to make 2 trips. But I kind of thought if it's anything like these days, brandy's expensive.
This is the thing about this game. I like it for the stories that it brings out of people, because it's so...
Yeah.
Nothing's the same. Like, I did that, and immediately got accused of, like, being a traitor or whatever for leaving. And then I was like, right, okay, let's get him off my back. Just put $60 in the apartment. Right, I'm out for a bit. I went and did a side quest with one of them old Driscolls that you catch straight away.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, right, okay, brilliant. You go into that house and he says, oh, there's some money in the chimney. Go and get that. So you reach under $600. Went, bloody hell, that'll last me. That'll do me about a year. That I'll have to come back for a year to him. So I go back to camp. Then I go to put it in the pot and it's not in my wallet. I was like, where's that money gone? I do not know where that money's gone. I do not know.
It automatically. So basically, the camp gets money, then you get your cut. So
so they got it up, right? Because then I was like, oh, I must have to go and see Dutch then. Yeah. I went to go and see Dutch and he took me on another mission. I was like, no, I just want to play. I just want to go wandering off. Stop making me do missions. So I was like, right, get away from this. The DLC horse is in the stable. Right, let's go to the stable. I go over to the stable in Valentine. There's a guy right in front of me as I'm riding up. He tricked me. He went left, so I went right. But then he zigged back in front of me, and I ran him over. So then that's as I'm going into the stable. The door's shut. You can't go in. You wanted because some woman's seen it and running off to the sheriff.
Oh God, yes.
So I'm like,
people,
you were kidding me. That wasn't my fault. That is an accident. This guy faked left and went right. That's not my fault. This idiot jumped in front of my horse. So then I spent 5 minutes running around in the bloody fields waiting for the wanted level to go away so I could go into the stables. And then I do that, get the horse, fine, whatever. And as I'm riding back, a turkey just falls out the sky on my way back to camp. Just falls out of the sky dead right in front of me. I have no idea where it came from. And I was like, right, there you go, put it straight on the back, took it on.
They don't even fly, do they?
I don't know where it came from. It just came from the top of the screen down. I don't know where it had come from. I don't know what it had been doing.
Maybe it was trying to fly.
I don't know. Maybe someone had... I honestly don't know where it had come from, but I was like, well, it was just dead on the floor. So I picked it up, chucked it on the horse, took it to the cook. I went, there you go, get off my back. And I turned it off. I was like, I can't be doing with this. Getting hassled for abandoning people. I've played it for 20 minutes. just insane, this game. And that's kind of what I feel like is good. It's always the game that I think about playing but never do. I always want to play it just for the random encounters and stuff that goes on in that game.
You just reminded me, and I'm gutted actually. I couldn't remember what year this game was set in, but it's 1899, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
The Wright brothers was 1903, and I was thinking it'd be quite cool if they could have had some bits later on with aeroplanes, because in the first one it was really fun helping that guy build his plane. And then he just goes straight over a cliff and splats on the floor, and you're like, oh. So you just nip down the mountain and loot his corpse. It's, I love that. That's all stuff like that in that game was perfect. So I was hoping there might be another kind of a sequel to that with the real Wright brothers, but I guess you'll just be helping them. Maybe they'll have a third brother. There'll be triplets or something. I don't even know if the originals were twins, but yeah, maybe they could have that in there somewhere. I need to play it. It is fun. If I played it this week for next week's episode, I'd have some stupid stories to tell about.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing with this game. It's just you'll come back with stories and it'll be nothing like anyone else has heard.
Yeah,
that's the thing with this game. I'm hearing stuff. It's like when Zelda first came out on the Switch, and there's just for weeks on end. There's just stuff. People stuff turning up on internet videos. It's like going, look at this, what you can do. Look at this, what's happened. Look at this that I've seen. And this is exactly the same again with Red Dead, just random stories, encounters, and what's going on in this world. It's kind of incredible.
I should have segued with your Turkey story at the time, but I'm going to use it as a slight segue. I've got Let's Go Evee on the Switch today.
Yes, have I?
Yeah. And I've been playing it in 2-player mode with Bosco. And
okay.
I'll start with it. The game itself, I'm really enjoying. I think it's great. It's basically Pokemon Red, and all's good with the world. The Pokeball Plus controller is very clunky. It was not like this at Eurogamer.
Really?
I don't know whether it's
problems with it.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I'm in agreement with you.
I find I'm sat there playing, and then suddenly I'm like, how has this rolled round upside down on me all of a sudden? I go left and I go right, and I'm like, what's going on? I think it's just because the breakup between when you go to throw the ball at a Pokemon and then when you go to sit back down and carry on running, it must just get faffed around in that, I suppose. It's not too bad.
You need to have the little finger loop on. Finger loop holds it perfectly in place.
Probably. But what I was going to say was it makes me laugh. So to have 2-player mode, you just give a Wiimote? Bloody hell. Joy-Con to another person. They just shake it. And their player just collapses from the sky onto the floor in front of you. So I don't know whether it's just that Ollie keeps shaking the controller while we're playing. But his character will be running along and his character will just disappear and then collapse through the ceiling. And then we'll be running along and he'll be, because he was getting so excited, bless him. He was jumping around. He was running on the spot, dancing all over the place every time we caught something. But it means that constantly throughout the game, I go into a Pokemart to buy some Pokeballs and he just falls through the ceiling of the building. He's falling through the ceiling of the Poker, whatever it's called. The healing place, Pokemon Center, the gyms, all sorts. And it's making me laugh because I'm thinking that would have been quite a good thing to feel if Nintendo weren't so mad. But he's just adding comedy to that game by constantly just falling through ceilings. They've got some bizarre, I mean, all of the Pokemon games have bizarre things that people say when you fight them. But I'm trying to give an example now. One of them was just like, one of them follows Kev's policy about wearing shorts. It was, made me laugh. It was called like Young Trainer Calvin or something like that. He just randomly went, I like wearing shorts. You can stare at them if you like. And then when you're beating him, he goes, I like to wear shorts all year round as long as I possibly can. And I just thought this should be young trainer Kevin, really. He loves telling people to stare at his shorts and to wear them all year round. But
shorts.
The only problem I'm having as a geek is some of the Pokemon aren't where I'm expecting them to be yet. And I keep making the mistake of telling Ollie, oh yeah, if we wander around here, we'll catch a Jigglypuff. And then we wander around for 10 minutes and there isn't one there. And I look like a damn fool. But, I'll figure out whether that's because it's a time-based thing or I don't know, weather-based thing or whatever. It might just be that I'd forgotten where they found, but I told him we'd find one in this place and we sat there for 15 minutes running around in circles and catch lots of other things, but nothing came up. It's a good little game. I'm enjoying it. I think I might play it with the Joy-Con moving forward.
Right. Okay. So I would say this to you as well.
Go on.
The analog stick ain't great on it. It's really finicky for me.
On the ball, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got like working hands.
Yeah. It's just, honestly, God, play with the Joy-Cons. You will notice a difference so much better. The amount of times I'm trying to talk to someone and I'm just slightly off to the left or right of them because I can't aim it just quite right where I want to be. It's a bit finicky for me.
Yeah, I felt mean because I thought when I was going onto the menus, I thought Ollie was pressing left or right. So I'd go, I want to go left. And it would go left too. And I'd be like, Ollie! And he'd be like, oh, sorry. And then I realised he wasn't doing anything. It was just a stupid controller. So I think it either just needs adjustment to get used to it or I'm just going to use Joy-Con. But I'm very glad I got the ball because it doubles up as a what's it called, a Go Plus. Like I know you've already got one, Kev, but I plugged this in my car into the USB port, like the charging dock thing, and just drove around Deepin for 5 minutes and come back and looked, and I'd gained 30 Pokeballs. I'd spun every stop in Deepin. I'd completed a couple of quests sort of thing. And I was just like, yeah, brilliant. I'm happy with that. And I thought next time I'm in the car and Claire's driving me into town or whatever, I'll just sit in the passenger seat, just pressing the button. I won't even have to look at my phone. I won't get travel sick anymore because I won't have to be constantly spinning a screen around. I can just relax and let that do all the work. I'm well happy with that. I don't know why I didn't get one sooner.
I am baffled about why you haven't ever had a Pokemon Go Plus.
Because he likes having it on screen. I think Sheepdog likes to be doing something, whereas you just like to click something.
I do like to be doing something, but I think part of my worry was when it first came out, they did an update and it broke it, and then they didn't apparently they didn't fix it for maybe 2 weeks or something. And so I kept just reading negative stuff, and I thought they were going to replace it or drop it. And I wasn't confident that it was going to be a long-term part of their plans. So I didn't bother getting one, but then it just seemed to get more and more and more updated and fixed and whatever. And it doesn't seem like they're ever going to get rid of it, but I'd kind of gone too far by that point. And I don't think I realised how beneficial it would be to just have one that spun every stop. I wish I'd had that at Disney. I considered getting one before my holiday, but I'd spent wandering between A and B. I was looking at the phone half the time, spinning stops and looking for Pokemon, whereas I could have just been enjoying being at Disney. It's a bit mad, really.
Well, I went into Let's Go Evee completely blind. I had listened to nobody talking about it. I didn't know what to expect. I was under the impression this was just a rubbish kiddie game where you just do motion control Pokemon Go effectively in a little made-up world. I didn't realise this was an actual Pokemon game you could play, just with a few little tweaks that, for me, make it better. I like the fact that you catch Pokemon the way you do on Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I love that.
Because I think that's better than the way you do it in the main games. But it's got the full game in there. I was very happy. I sat there for a couple of hours, waving my arms around, catching my Pokemon, while Anna just shook her head and called me a child. And I had a little plod around, had a bit of an explore, went and did a gym. It was lots of fun. I didn't realise it was a proper game. I don't really get what people have been moaning about, going, I want a real Pokemon game on Switch. Well, that's what this is, isn't it?
Shocked. In the there's a website that's been going since the beginning of Pokemon called Cerebi, and the bloke who runs that has said, it's a great but flawed game, but if this is the future of Pokemon, then the whole franchise is in trouble. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, what? I don't understand. This is a separate vein. They're gonna, from my guess is they're gonna carry on doing the main generations every 4 years, whatever it is they do it, because they've got Gen 8 coming out next year, and that'll be like Pokemon Sun was, and like Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Ruby and all of that. And they'll be doing the Let's Go games that will have the tie-in with Pokemon Go, that will be like jazzed up 3D versions of the originals with the Pokemon Go mechanic. And I think I think you're right. I much prefer just throwing a Pokeball at it and catching it, and that being the mechanic, and the Pokemon still.
And even just the fact that, like in Pokemon Go, you can see what's there, so you can just avoid stuff. Like, I don't need to catch my 8th Pidgey. I'll just walk around that one. I don't have to have a random encounter. That's brilliant. Really good. That's always been my biggest criticism of Pokemon, the fact that it's so grindy.
My mate was moaning, where's all the random encounters? So I spent more time. So I've played the start of this bloody region probably about 1 million times in my life, and this is the first time I've ever liked going through the forest. I always found the forest to be an annoying, every twist and turn was just 10 battles just to get to the end, and then some annoying bumhead would challenge you and you wouldn't be able to get around it, and I just found it infuriating. And that's I probably put the game down more times at the end of that forest than anything else, and yet I went through it and we stuck around because one of the trainers says to you, I heard there's a Bulbasaur in here somewhere. And we waited for like 5 minutes to see if one would spawn. And then I Googled it. I was like, is there actually a Bulbasaur in this forest?
I did that. I went back and through there for another 10 minutes looking for one.
Yeah, and then as we got near the end, one appeared, and we were well happy.
Really?
Yeah, Ollie was jumping around. They're apparently rare. They are rare, like properly rare. But we were so lucky, one just happened to appear. And then I read, which miffed me a little bit, that well, I say miffed me, didn't miff, that you get it anyway because it's the same. It's the Pokemon Yellow story, so you get Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle as part of the story.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, so I was a bit like, I didn't really need to wait around, but either way, Ollie was well chuffed. I love it. I'm really enjoying it. I love it anyway. He's loving it. Claire's a bit miffed that I said to her, we'll probably spend a couple of hours a night for the next 2 weeks playing this. And she was like, what? She kind of doesn't want that, but no, I'm well happy. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. And I'm glad that Kev thinks it's good because I feel like we're probably coming at it from two different ends of the spectrum with the game. And yeah, it shows that it is something for everyone, isn't it?
It is. It's a wonderful thing. It's also not the only game I've picked up on my Switch today. I also have Civilization 6 sat there ready to play. I haven't opened it. My plan was have a quick look at Pokemon and then get stuck into Civilization so I could talk about that too. But it shows how much I was enjoying Pokemon that I actually did a couple of hours on Pokemon, and I've decided I've got a train journey down to London tomorrow, so that feels like the perfect opportunity to get stuck into Civilization. But I have had a look at a couple of videos about it, and it's been very well received. It's apparently the first time Civilization has ever been any good on a console.
Awesome.
So, I'm very, very excited at the prospect of playing Civilization on there as well. And I keep tweeting about it because I know I've got silly about consoles in the past. I loved the Vita for a short spell, and I've been keen on the Switch. The longer I've had it, the more I've enjoyed it. But seriously, thinking about this bit of kit now, if I was to design a game system for me to play the games I want, it's portable, but I can stick it on a telly if I really want to, but for me, I don't play on the telly. I've played this docked maybe once. It's a handheld. It's a handheld that can play Football Manager, Civilization, Diablo, Skyrim, all the Nintendo stuff as well, all the indie game stuff as well. This is the best console there has ever been. It's ridiculous how perfect it is for me.
I'm inclined to agree. I don't want to hear that Civilization is good because I can't add that to the bloody list. But
I'll have my full review on it next week. But
this is the first console I've owned where my family feel like they're in on it, if that makes sense. Considering I've got pretty much everything else, and I've had everything else in at least the past decade. When I said to Claire we were going to be playing Pokemon a lot, she was like, well, the rest of us can't join in on that, can we? And for a split second, I thought, we didn't say that about Red Dead, or, do you know what I mean? I was just like, what on earth are you saying? I was like, I'm adding the child into my gaming. And I realized, no, the Switch has become the everybody console, and we play it all the bloody time.
I definitely think I've spent more time playing on the Switch that we've only had since Football Manager came out, whenever that was, May. I think we got a Switch. I actually think I've spent more time playing on the Switch than I have on any other console from this generation that we've had since launch day, because I've not really given either of them very much time. But I use the Switch a lot, and I really, really like it. And I'm so excited to have Civilization on there as well. I might even have a little go on it before bed, but I have the worry that Civilization is the only other game alongside Football Manager that has ever kept me up until the sun's come up. And the danger of starting a Civilization save at 11 o'clock at night that's a terrifying prospect.
I want to say you're a monster because I was happy to get Football Manager. He's excited to play it because I'm like, I haven't played it for a while. And I don't know what the opinion is of the community in general, but this is the best Football Manager I've played in at least
it's the best one
5.
There's ever been. The consensus is it's the greatest one there's ever been. It's such a step forward this year.
I so love it, honestly. That's probably the reason I've not played Red Dead, because I have constantly yearned to play Football Manager, and that's getting silly. Like I was quite. I don't know if I said this on the podcast or whether I only found it out when I've not been on, but I was looking, and obviously my Steam has all the different years on it that I've owned. I thought I could load it up, but it said something stupid like I only spent, I don't know, let's say 60 hours on it in like one iteration in like 2010. And I thought, yeah, 2008 burned me good, so I can see that. And I thought, oh, I bet I didn't spend any more time on it. Oh, I was playing higher or lower, Claire, in the end. And the next year I spent 100 hours. And the next year it was like 150 hours. And the next year it was like 300 hours. And I thought, how has this gone up every year? I swear I'm playing it less. And then at this one, I'm already sort of tens of hours into it at least. I know that in your world, it's not thousands, so it doesn't count. But I can easily, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'll get bored, but I can easily see it being a full month's worth of time.
I'm nearly 200 hours into FM19 now, and not even close. I want to play it now. I'm annoyed that I can't be sitting here playing my save now because I've got to make a video before I can play it again. I usually record my videos the day they come out. I'm nearly a week ahead on videos at the moment because I'm so excited to play it and make more videos. It's reignited my love of Football Manager. I mean, for me, playing it all day, every day as a job, it was getting to be a grind towards the end of FM18. And I hadn't felt like that with Football Manager ever before. I don't think in 25 years of playing, I'd never got to the point where I'd had enough. But the last couple of months of FM18, it really was, this is, because it's basically been the same game for like 3 years. But the changes they've made to it this year, I've just, it's gone up a level, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. If people haven't played Football Manager for a few years, now is the year to jump back on. I
feel like it's letting me feel like I'm moderately okay at it. Well, like
that's the thing. Because it's got the new tactics stuff and it's got all the tutorials and stuff in there as well. But the new tactics system is perfect for someone to just pick up the game and have a go. So it's got that low barrier to entry, but then it's still got the learning curve and the nuance that you can dig into over dozens or hundreds of hours if you really want to get into it in that kind of detail. But someone could pick this game up with the intention of playing it for 100 hours, 200 hours over the course of the year, never move beyond the tactical presets and have a whale of a time. And you've never been able to do that before. It's always been too hard to pick it up and start winning. Whereas now you can, but it's not that they've made it too easy. It's very, very clever the way they balanced the game this year. They're absolute geniuses.
Yeah, I'm very happy. And thanks again, because it's taken all my time. I've not watched my programs properly, and I was like, I really need to do some writing, but I keep playing this instead.
Well, if I've learned anything, you can't play too much Football Manager because it's a job thing. Do it as your job, Sheepdog. Give everything up and become a Football Manager nerd.
No, I think that
would do it.
My sister was talking about doing that the other day. She's got a copy of it, and she was like, "I might just start YouTubing." And I was like,
she would explode immediately. The excitement of there being a girl doing it.
Yeah. I think it was her brother-in-law who for them. It was just like, "Here's a copy of the game, off you pop." And she was just like, "Really? Nah." And I said, "So what are you going to do? You're going to learn football from the ground up?" Because she doesn't know football.
I don't know football. That's the joy of it. You don't. I've said so many times over the years, if I had to choose between football and Football Manager, I'd happily never watch another football match again. But I couldn't give up Football Manager. Football Manager's so much better than football.
I feel like they fixed the conversations a lot as well.
They fixed everything a lot.
Yeah.
Everything.
Definitely.
Pab, it's time for you to get back on the Football Manager.
No.
It is.
You're saying it's easy for people to get in. I was like, oh, don't tell me that. I don't want to know. Got enough to play.
Don't make me get you a code, Pab.
If you did that, I would play it.
Would you? But, interesting.
If you did that, I would play it. But
let me fire off a DM.
I honestly, I can't justify paying for it at the minute. Realistically, that's the thing for me.
I'm thinking, considering last year you did a video I think it was last year, it might have been the year before. I saw it on the Mature Gamer channel, Save Our Sheepdog, because I basically just jacked in gaming because I didn't have the time and I was feeling a bit moody about it. And then I'm looking at this 40 hours on FM19 and thinking, I also know that I'm probably 10 plus hours into Red Dead, and I'm, I spent tonight playing Pokemon, and it was less than a month, I'm sure, since I got Mario Party, maybe only a month and a half. But I'm looking at it thinking I've put probably over 100 hours worth of time into genuine games this past month and a half, and that's not normal. It's been a weird period for me.
Gaming's got good again. When we did our review of the year last year, we were so critical of that, and I think I said several times it was the worst year of gaming I'd ever known. It had just gone to pot. But I genuinely think gaming in general has made a massive comeback into my life, for sure, in the last few months. And a lot of that is Football Manager, and a lot of that is the Switch.
Yeah, Nintendo have really made a difference. I'm forgetting Mario Odyssey as well. I've only had this since June, July, and I played a lot of games on it. I feel like I can justifiably say I'm a gamer now, despite having done this for so long. I felt like I was definitely
the fact it's been months. It's probably months at this point since we've talked about comics on the podcast, because we haven't had time to fit it in with all the gaming. Where behind the curtain, everybody, the reason we introduced that is because it gave us something to talk about, because we never played any games, so we had to introduce comics and TV and movies and these other things that we were spending our time doing instead. Whereas, I'm still reading comics. I just don't have time to talk about them because I'm spending so much time talking about gaming. Our review of the year this year is going to be a very different tone of show.
Big time, yeah. Cool.
Right, we got any more games that warrants discussion? Go for it.
Definitely. Okay, so I finished the Spider-Man first DLC, The Heist, which is all Black Cat based. I think you could probably finish that. I haven't finished it 100% because it introduces a whole new gang sort of thing, the Magia, which is just basically gives you a new set of crimes to collect. Because for me to get the platinum, I had to get all of the crimes. There's like 5 crimes in each district. So in this one, there's a new set of crimes in each district. There's new pictures to take. There's new collectibles. But I finished the story stuff, and the story I think you could probably do in about 2 hours, which is kind of disappointing, but kind of good at the same time. Because, like I say, with all the games going on at the minute, it's kind of nice to have these little bite-sized stuff. There was 3 new suits for that. What's the British Spider-Man? Can't remember his name.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think it's just I can't remember whether he had I think he did have a quirky name, but the British Spider-Man suit is I'll unlock the third and final suit for that DLC by completing doing all the crimes and doing all the collectibles and what have you. And I think they announced that next week the next set of DLC is coming out for it. Oh, so it just keeps on coming. And the last thing I've played is the Tetris Effect. Have you seen this going around?
Yeah,
No.
I've heard it.
Yeah, I've heard it. The name.
Yeah. I wanted it because it was Tetris and it has PSVR compatibility, and I was like, I kind of got to see this. And then it came out last week, and I was like, okay, let's got on the PlayStation Store, £35. And I went, I'm not paying £35 for a Tetris game in 2019. And then by Sunday, I'd listened to all the hype about it and watched a couple of videos, and I was like, right, I've got to see what this is about, because people are losing their mind over this. And I've got to be honest with you, they are right to be losing their mind over it, because it is goddamned amazing. It is so, so, so good. It is. This will be contender for Game of the Year for me, comfortably.
Explain yourself.
So it's Tetris, made by the guy who made Lumines. So it's like kind of Tetris, like, and it plays to a beat of a song in places, and there's a whole like it plays like you rotate the block and it creates a beat. You put the block down, it creates another beat. It's all sound based, and just playing that on its own is fine, but putting it in PSVR, it's just kind of like mind-boggling. It's so cool.
Why is it only on PlayStation? Explain yourself.
Because they've either done some sort of publishing deal or
they need to bring it out on Switch if they need to play it.
I don't know whether it'll be on Switch. I imagine it'll be on PC at some point. I imagine it might be on Switch at some point if they've got the exclusivity for like a certain amount of time, which they probably will have. They'll have it on exclusivity for probably 6 months, I would have thought. But it's such a good game. Just like, I mean, I'm on a level now. I can't beat it. I tried it last night. I just cannot beat the level. It is like, it starts you off and you're just nice and chill, and then you get to a certain point by you get a certain number of lines, and then the song kind of beat picks up a bit, and then you've got to, once the beat picks up, the blocks start falling at the speed of the beat, so it's just falling, like constantly falling blocks, and I can't comprehend how to move the blocks into spaces quick enough. But I think by the end of it, I was nearly getting it. I was almost managing to keep on top of it, but it just kind of gets too much and piles up, and it just, like Tetris does, it just goes to pot really quickly. If you don't manage it well, it can just go to hell real quick. And like I say, the visuals in VR is just really cool, like the particle effects, and there's one that's like underwater, so there's like sharks and stuff like floating around you and stuff like that, and like it's kind of like you need to see it to believe it sort of thing, and play it. It's just so good. And like I say, it is well worth the money. It might seem expensive, but damn it, is it good. It is so good.
Well, perhaps you should buy me a PlayStation VR then.
I looked at it's stupid that I looked at buying another one.
Why would you want
You only have one head, Pab.
No, that I looked because there was a newer model that came out, and then there was all these like Black Friday deals that started turning up, but it's for the older model, it's not for the new model. So I'm like, well, I don't need one then, do I? So, and even the new model only just passes HDR through to the television. I don't need it at all because I don't see it. But it's just a niggling in my head that it's like there's a newer model out there and I haven't got it. But no, I'll stick with what I've got for the time being.
Dirty monster using an older model. What
I know. I know.
It's hideous, Pab. You may as well just put a bag of turds on your head.
Oh, turd Pab.
Exactly. Right, have we got any more video games then? Can't believe you just mentioned me Black Friday deals are emerging.
Yeah.
I know. Do you know what? I'm due some Amazon vouchers from like a thing I've been working on at work, and I'm just thinking if they arrive after Black Friday, I'm going to be so gutted.
Yeah,
I know it's already on.
It's
Claire's birthday Sunday, and I've obviously had to buy her all her presents in advance, and I'm like, damn it! If you'd have been born a week later, you'd have got twice as much stuff, to be fair.
Sounds like it's our own fault then.
Yeah.
Right, we got any more? Any more? Anna, have you played anything else this week? Have you talked about Spyro at all? I know you've sat there playing Spyro this evening.
I've played Spyro for 40 minutes.
This is the new remastered version.
It's not remastered, it's remade.
That broke my brain for a second. I was like, that's not out until November.
It's November.
Oh, no.
We're halfway through November.
Yeah.
I played, got it yesterday. Didn't play it yesterday because I fell asleep. Popped it on today. Well, what happened was I was going to play it yesterday. I popped it in. It said 10 minutes install, thought fine. And then that installed, and then it clicked over again. It was 104 minutes. I ain't got this.
Yeah, it had done a 10 gig install and then a 20 gig download after. So clearly it's installing one game.
Yeah.
And then downloading the other two.
Yeah, so did that. So they work, yeah.
But the thing with PlayStation, when it's downloading the patch, you can't play the games normally. It doesn't do
yes. It just shows the downloading screen in front of the game and try and load it, yeah.
So I put it on today, 40 minutes, and I don't remember the first Spyro very much, but it is pretty. It is all very colourful and nice, and
it's well done, isn't it? It's well made.
Like, there's bits like I think I've played one, but I don't think I owned it. I think like a friend owned it and I played it at their house. So I remember like the big dragon rock that you go through when you want to go and do the boss. I don't remember the boss, but I remember that, and I remember how you had to like burn or bag into sheep for your little dragonfly to eat to make sure his health was up. Because if you get hit 3 times, your dragonfly goes away because he changes colours every time you hit, and then next time. So it's like you can take 4 hits and then you're down. But basically, this game is super easy because all he has is fire or run into people. That's it. It's just 2 moves. That's all he has in this first game.
Anna, I spent the evening playing a game I can play with one thumb.
So
2 moves is nothing.
People, or you blast them with fire. I have found them little things that run around with the eggs. There's one that I can't get, and it's frustrating me no end. It still has some niggly problems. So basically, this one, the egg, is on a ledge, and the way to get on the ledge is going from one platform that's around the corner, and then you have to glide around the corner, but you can only hit a specific like spot on this wall that you can get up, and the amount of times I've headbutted that wall, no end, so I've left that. But it's pretty. They've rebuilt it, they've put more assets in it, it's on in the Unreal Engine. Yeah, but it's 3 games. So I guess it's Spyro 1, 2, 3. I
can't believe you bought this 2 days after Fallout.
But it was 20. But it was 27 quid, and it was just a game that I could put on for 10 minutes and just.
I'm glad you've given me that number because I was just sat here doing some maths. Because I think this might have been, for the Chapman household, the most expensive non-console launch week there's ever been for video games. Because we've spent like £325 between us on games
Kevin,
this week.
We don't go out.
I've probably spent more on games this year than I ever have.
What are you saying, Anna?
I'm saying we don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't go out. Like
exactly.
This is what we do.
One week a year, we blow over £300 on games in one go. Boom.
But the thing is,
crazy week.
Fallout, I'm never going to get rid of. That's always going to be here. Like, I still have my Pip-Boy edition. I still have Fallout 4. So I'm going to have the helmet. I'm going to have Fallout 76. It's not going anywhere.
And as I told you earlier, I'm not getting rid of my ball either, so I'm going to keep my Pokemon stuff
I'm
too.
going to give it to Dave.
No, it's my ball.
Why would you give it to Dave?
Give it to Dave.
She really doesn't like it. She's really against it. I don't know why. She's very anti-Pokemon Let's Go.
You know why? Because Andy was enjoying it, and you won't let him have a go. Because you mean?
Because he eats every controller he's ever given. I've just spent 70 quid on this.
But just sit there with him and let him have a go.
Well, then I get to watch him have his first bite out of it. So I won't be able to stop him.
Just a bit mean with it.
To be fair, I didn't
You
let
won't
the
even let
kids
me
have a
have
go
a
on
go.
it. Yeah, Emily asked if she could play it with Ollie, and I said, no, you either play it with me or play it.
Would you let me touch it, Kevin?
Yeah, you can have a go.
Liar. You're
I offered
a
you a
liar.
go. I offered to buy you a copy of it, and you said no.
No, because I ain't got. At this point in time, I don't have time to play any games.
When I originally put that in my basket, I put one of each in the basket and thought, no, that is getting a little bit silly. When it's coming out on the same day as Civilization, buying one of each is a bit silly because I was going to get one for you as well. But I decided
just
not
don't
to.
have time. Yeah.
But yeah, what a week for gaming. Oh, it will go down in history. What a week. But I think we do need to start wrapping things up on this here podcast at that point because some of us have got tasks to attend to before our early start tomorrow morning.
I was going to make one quick point about your Spyro thing that you reminded me slightly there that I think a few years back I'd have probably been raging at the thought that they'd basically remastered an old game. But I was reading earlier.
They've remade it.
Remade is, yeah, sorry, that's what I meant, remade. But that's what they're doing with the Red Alert 1 and Command & Conquer 1.
I remember them games.
And they're remaking them, and I am so excited. They've brought back the original music guy, the original writers, the original everything, and they're just remaking it. And I'm like, this is brilliant. They should do it with everything. I've been raving about a remake of Pokemon Red, and it seems like it's the way forward at the moment. We're entering a golden period of remakes.
Your face is a golden period of remakes.
It is. You can wrap up now.
I will do. Twitter is a place, MG UK Podcast. That's where we are on it. Or you can follow me at Lelujo.
You can follow me at RB6K.
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
And I'm at Pub1986.
There's also a very excellent Facebook group that I am on all the time. It's not ours. Ours is facebook.com/maturegamerpodcast. But there's some other good groups too.
Your Lelujo one is much busier. If people wanted to get us going on, be the one, because it's always busy.
It is. I can't keep up with it. It's very busy. I just don't really understand Facebook. The only reason I still have a Facebook account is so that I can keep that group going. But then I don't really do very much with it. I just look at it occasionally and very occasionally reply to people. But I forget to go onto Facebook most days because it's not part of my routine. But yeah, Facebook's great. Follow us. Follow us there. Oh dear. Right, I've got stuff to do. Go away, you lot. And you listener people, all of you go away, and we'll see you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening.